Welcome to Bitcoin Technical Analysis. We're on World Crypto Network and Bitcoin.com. Today I'm with Tone. How's it going?
Hey Theo, it's going good. Guess me and George are switching off weeks here.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that you're back from some of those conferences and can join us today. And yeah, there's been some movement in the Bitcoin price and also in the commodities market. So yeah, why don't you show us what you have today?
All right, I'm gonna stick to my usual. Plus, I'll talk about the dollar as well since George isn't here. That's usually his thing. All right, so right now we're looking at the chart of Bitcoin. I'm using the Brave New Coin Index, and it's just a snapshot from yesterday's article that I wrote, which will be in the show notes. And so I have horizontal resistance at 475 ish around that area, and that's from the previous high back in November, so just about a year ago. We pierced it intraday to hit 500 in early November. So it didn't stick there at all. So that is the true resistance. We were hitting it on numer for like a week straight and could not break above it and have now pulled back to about 445, 442 area. I still think we're overbought here. I mean, if you look at the RSI, which I have as my first indicator, it clearly goes from overbought to oversold, back to overbought, then down to oversold. It's been very, very consistent over the last year. Yes, it hits overbought or it hits oversold a couple of times, but then it always comes back. It's kind of like clockwork. I'm going to trust it. I'm going to trust the fact that things are cyclical, and we have now had a third clear overbought RSI condition. And I don't like it here. It's mass adoption is not around the corner. Yes, Bitcoin is becoming more popular, but remember, it also doubled in price in the last few months. This isn't normal. Everyone is screaming moon, but that's where traders get caught. So I'm still a little bit bearish on Bitcoin for the time being. I'm certainly bullish long term, but in the short to intermediate term, I really want to see that RSI come back below 30. And the moment that happens, I'll be a buyer again. And that can happen at 400 if it just stays flat. It can happen at 450 if we jump up to 700 and then have a big fall. Or it can happen down at around 300. But I'm not going to chase. I've learned in my experience that chasing prices never leads to anything good. So if you have Bitcoin, great, sit on it. I always advise people Bitcoin is a long-term investment. Hold on to 80 to 90% of it and trade the rest if you need that kind of a trade advantage or a rush that you're a trader. But otherwise, I think you're chasing right here if you're buying, and I would like to see more of a pullback down into the 300s, and then we'll take it from here. So here is another view of also a daily chart, just a little more zoomed in with some candles. We had a triangle that I was looking to have a breakdown and actually hit that oversold condition on the RSI down at around 260, 250 area. It didn't happen. The triangle broke to the upside. It broke through all of the Fibonacci's as well from this from the 200 point drop, the 500 down to 300. So again, we're overextended. Back when we were at 500, we were 100% above the 200-day moving average. Right now, we're more like 60% above the 200-day moving average, and that is still overextended. We haven't hit the 50-day moving average in a long time. It's now going on 3 months, if not more. Again, these are not normal conditions. I still see Bitcoin as a little overbought. You can also see the MACD cross. The last time it crossed in a similar way was early November. and we did have about another 100, 150 point drop. So again, I'm looking to at least see 400, hopefully in the 350 area before considering buying back in. So that's my view on Bitcoin. It's a little overbought at the moment. All right, let's look at some traditional markets now. Let's just go straight to the S&P 500. I really wanted to make last week's show to talk about the Fed rate hike. Too many conferences, too much going on. But the Fed did raise rates, something I was expecting in September and something I was minorly expecting back in June. So to me, this was not a surprise. To me, this was actually late. I got hurt trading commodities back in September, October, expecting the rate hike, which didn't happen. So it did, and it didn't really affect the market all that much. The day of the rate hike, the market actually went up a little bit. I am one of those believers that stocks go up with the rise in rates. I know that is unconventional. Everyone always screams, especially the talking heads on CNBC, that a rate hike is bad for the stock market. I think that's completely ridiculous. I think it signals that the economy is doing better, whether it is or not, and stocks to go up. So now that's the fundamental picture. I'm expecting the stock market to go up with the rates going up as well. And I do expect rates to rise in the near future some more. Let's talk about the technicals. We have the S&P 500. Now this is a very clear channel we got here. So the 2000 is our low, and the 2100 is our high. Okay, so this is the channel. Once it breaks out of this channel, I will become a buyer. I'm not trading this at the moment. I still think it's a little choppy. I am very bullish on the S&P 500 for 2016. Now, what I would like to see is a scare. I would like to see some lower prices and a scare. So what I'm looking for is, I guess let me put this in red. I'm looking for the market to reverse around these areas and go back down and break below 2000. Break out of this channel to the downside, scare the hell out of everyone that were crashing, and then go to new highs from there. Now, as you guys know, I hate watching a channel break from all the way on the bottom to the top. So I don't expect this breakout to be all that fast. But the idea is that's what I'm looking for. That's not what may happen. We could break out of this channel in early 2016 and just go up from there. So we will see. As far as timing your trades, that's not easy at the moment because, yes, this is a reversal pattern, but I prefer shooting stars and hammers and dojis as my reversals, not necessarily bullish haramis or bearish engulfings or bullish engulfings. Those are not my ideal reversal patterns, so that would have been tough. The fact that it happened around 2000 is a clear signal. Those that timed it well, good for them. I am still just a watcher at the S&P 500. I'm a little nervous trading this range. I would like to see it move out of this range. And because I'm bullish longer term, a break below the range, I would see that as a scare and not as an indication of things to come. So that's pretty much my view on the S&P 500. Let's jump to the dollar. So here we have the dollar. And again, this is very, very clear horizontal support. 4 hits, one trap. So this is our trap right here. And everything else was a very clear hit. As far as the resistance on this channel, we have resistance becoming support. Yeah, it broke out of it a few times, didn't hold. And then we have the big one. I guess I'll split it down the middle at 101. Okay, so now we're in between these two. So what am I looking for? I am looking for some choppiness. I am looking for to see a rise, and then probably a fall, and then eventually a breakout. So once we break out of this 100 for good, and 100 is a nice round number, and hopefully that will be soon, I am expecting the dollar to rise. So as the dollar rises, what happens to commodities? So here we have oil, and those that have been listening to me talk about oil for 4 months now, you all know what I was trying to trade, and unfortunately unsuccessfully, is these descending triangles. And I guess the big one. And I kept looking for a crash, a crash, a crash that never came. This was also the time of the rate hike that didn't happen, so caused me some issues over here. Now, eventually, if this is our Mendoza line here, this was the move that should have been shorted. This was the back test that could have been shorted again. I was too busy trading other things, wasn't paying attention. And here we go, the big fall. I believe oil is a little oversold, even though I've been bearish on it forever. I just noticed this perfect, beautiful reversal candle. I did not time it. Those that did, good for them. So now what am I looking for? Well, 40 is a nice round number. It's been support resistance in the past many, many times. So I am looking for a comeback to at least 40. I guess preferably 45, but that might be too much to ask for. And after that, I honestly don't think oil bottomed, guys. I am looking for lower prices. I am looking for a break below 35, possibly even hit 30. As ridiculous as that sounds, I don't think we bottomed. There's definitely room to play the bounce. I guess it might be, I don't know if it's too late or not, now that it just moved $3 or $4, but I'm not playing oil right now. Otherwise, you would see my positions on the screen. But I think I'm going to watch it more carefully, because as we approach the $40 mark, I will probably be looking to short, especially if I'm watching the dollar break out of that 100 area to the upside, the strength of the dollar. Of course, the wars in the Middle East could spike the oil price, but overall, I think it's going down. And also the winter. I was in San Diego last Monday, in San Diego, and the temperature was 55 degrees, and I'm being texted from my friends in New York where I live that the temperature is 70 degrees. So it's a warm winter. It's starting late, but it will get cold, so that would bump the oil price a bit, but I don't think we bottomed. And finally, we have gold. And gold is having, I'm just going to put a box right in here. There we go. We have a channel. We haven't really hit the top of that channel. Unfortunately, I haven't been trading much gold either. What I was looking to short gold around here on the bounce, because I messed up my shorts in this area. And unfortunately, this bounce back to 1100 came very quickly, and it ended quickly. and I did not get a chance to time that trade. So I never did short at 1100. So maybe I'll get one more chance. Maybe this bounce will take us all the way back up there to 1100. There could be a spike in gold for whatever reason, and I will be looking to short. I don't think gold bounced. I am looking for 1000, probably 900. My initial low of the 700 area may not come to fruition because it's taking way longer to develop. Eventually, gold will reverse, but the strength in the dollar, I think, will cause some more drops in gold. So if we go back up to that 1100 area and I can time a reversal candle, I will be looking to short gold then. And gold maybe has about another 3 to 6 months of downside, and then hopefully there will be reasons for gold to go up. I think that's it, Theo. I think I went on a little longer than expected, but
No
hopefully
problem.
this will help traders.
Yeah, sure, no problem. That's actually really interesting about the S&P and the rate hikes. Actually, there is a statistic that's been going around where after rate hikes, equities do go up, but yeah, it's all a matter of timing. When will they trend up? So I think I tend to agree with you that we'll see a little down before the S&P and the other indexes go up again. But I think that's definitely happened a few times in the past after rate hikes. And oil, I believe now is around the 2008 lows. So let's see if it holds here, or like you said, if we get even lower lows. And right now I've got gold on the screen. And yeah, I'm basically agreeing with you. I think that we could see a short-term bounce here. It did test this kind of 1075, 1080 area a few times and has not busted through, but I could see it, hitting 1100 or even 1120, something like that before going down again. And yeah, definitely 900 is in the cards if 1000 doesn't hold. So we'll just have to see what happens with that. As far as Bitcoin is concerned and the RSI, I see what you mean. I look at it a little differently. Just that if we're in a real uptrending market, that the RSI stays above 50. And but I'm using a 9 period here on this chart, but you can see after the blow off and some selling, it did kind of go down below the 50 range. Here we got the 1 and the 2 day at around 50. It didn't quite go down to 50 again. So yeah, we are kind of just hanging out in a high level. Let's zoom in and see what's going on. Here's the 4 hour. And what's happening is there was a sell off, but the 430 area, there was a lot of buyers so far, is the Bitfinex chart. So every time there's been a sell off the last few days, there's been buyers around 430. So someone is buying around that area. But you see these candles, you've got a lot of resistance on both sides. A lot of people selling as soon as it goes up five or $10. So we've got a lot of consolidation, and let's see what the next move will be. If this cloud right here, the bottom of the 4 hour cloud, is that going to be the support or the new resistance, is to be determined. But so far, the 430 range is being bought up. Over here is interesting. The hash rate continues to skyrocket, and I just wanted to show the black line is just the price at Bitfinex, and the orange is the hash rate. And if there's a concrete correlation, I'm not sure, but it's definitely interesting to have a look at the hash rate, and it's really soaring it's going up like crazy. And I think the next difficulty will be a major bump.
Really?
Litecoin,
I actually disagree with that.
you disagree? It's going up a lot.
Yeah, I think it's going up because of the. Oh wait, maybe I misheard what you said. My theory that it's going up is because of the halving in 6 months, and all these big miners are just trying to get that last
Yeah.
last 50 that last 25 Bitcoin reward before it halves. Once it halves, I think the difficulty will probably drop a little bit because there won't be this race to get that last 25 Bitcoin reward.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I agree with you. I just yeah, I think yeah, anyone with a miner that is not that old, maybe they're on right now just doing exactly what you said, trying to take advantage of this 25 Bitcoin reward before it goes down to 12 and a half. And it's right around the corner. It's not as far away as we think. So let's see what happens. Just I believe today or yesterday in the mainstream media is an article going around about the halvening. So the mainstream media is picking up on that narrative. Let's see how that affects the price.
Yeah, no, there.
Litecoin. Speaking of don't want to interrupt, but speaking of halvenings, I mean, a lot of people say, yeah, Litecoin, it's not the same as Bitcoin. Well, that's definitely true, but they did have a halvening, and they had a gigantic price move before. Now that's not on this chart exactly. Unfortunately, I just thought of it, but they had a big correction after the halvening, and I don't know what their hash rate is, how the halvening affected that, but here I just want to show that after the last price moved to 500, Litecoin also went up, and um, just lately there's been a lot of support around the $3.30 level. This is the chart at BTCE, but that probably has the most volume for Litecoin dollar. There's been some support here, and you can see this last daily candle is pretty big up move there. So let's see what happens when that starts to get around $4. There's been a lot of resistance in the past recently. Yeah, and so you already talked about gold. Here's gold, and I already covered that. And that's going to be all for today. Tone, any final words?
No, I mean, my view on Litecoin is I think it's going to $1. I think it's completely dead.
It could be. It could be. I think it's a very speculative asset. I'll say it like that. But I do think it's interesting to see that some of the big moves. There's also big moves in Litecoin, and just to have a look. It is the biggest altcoin in market capitalization, I believe. I believe Ripple totally died lately, so it's no longer up there. And it definitely has the biggest hash rate out of all the altcoins. So if there's going to be an altcoin chain that's going to survive, then Litecoin probably be it. Now, yeah, sure, there's a lot of theories going around. Like you said, it's going to $1, it's going to nothing. I think people like choice. So it's not that I'm bullish on altcoins in general, but I can see a world with more than one cryptocurrency that is viable. What do you think, Tone?
Yeah, but that is true, and I also think that honestly, I think if there is another altcoin, I think it's something we haven't seen yet. I think it's gonna
Yeah.
be like a completely new chain with all of the current miners jumping right onto it. This way, it's a more fair distribution now that more people know about it, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, I think it's going to be Bitcoin. I really do. I don't. All these other theories, I give them all less than a 1% chance of happening, including the one I just rambled on.
Right. Okay, definitely. Well, everyone, thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, World Crypto Network. Also, check us out at bitcoin.com. Please leave your comments below, and talk to you next time.